It would look something like this. We'd figure out where we wanted to be, off in the distance, sitting next to the bicycle. Then we'd start calculating a detailed plan. We'd say, okay, well, I better hold the handlebars, what angle? 12 degrees. And wait, there's a pothole in the road, so I'm going to make a plan to control for that. About 3 minutes into the journey, I'm going to turn 5 degrees to the right. And then 20 seconds later, I'll turn back 10 degrees to the left. We'd lay out our plan, and then finally, with plan in hand, we'd get on the bicycle. We'd hold the handlebars rigidly at the prescribed angle. We'd close our eyes and start pedaling. And then if the bicycle fell over along the journey, which seems likely, we'd get up and we'd say, all right, what happened? Why didn't we get it right the first time? And who's to blame? Holacracy tries to enable something that looks more like what actually happens when you ride a bicycle. We call it dynamic steering. Right? What happens when you're actually riding a bicycle? It's a process of continual experiment and adapt, or actually a phrase I prefer now, sense and respond. Right? You open your eyes, first of all. You open your eyes and you stay present in the moment. You're getting real data and you're adapting continually. Right? There's a present-centeredness when you picture really riding a bicycle, in flow. You're in the moment, now. Things are arising around you, you're taking them into account, and you're steering, you're adapting. You still have an aim. It's not directionless. You have an aim, but steering becomes something you do every moment in the journey, not once up front. Right? Every moment in the journey, constant course corrections as reality arises around you. It's not at all the same as just not predicting, right? No more than riding a bicycle is a process of not steering. Sometimes, especially with smaller, younger companies, when I talk about this, somebody will say, oh, we already do that. And I'll look at what they do and I say, no, I think you guys do chaos. And you might do chaos pretty well, but let's not confuse that. This takes more discipline, not less. More discipline than predict and control. Picture an Olympic athlete, Lance Armstrong, riding a bicycle. Picture the economy of motion, the discipline, and yet the present-centeredness in all of that. That's what this is like. And before I move on, notice the change in fear. Right? We're used to fear in our organizations, a lot of fear. When I'm riding that bicycle with my predict and control approach, it's natural to feel fear. So if you blindfold me and tell me to ride a bicycle across a busy highway, you know what? I'm going to be afraid. I'm going to feel a lot of fear. And no matter how much I've meditated and can get beyond my fear, that fear is still useful. Right? That fear is still useful. But rather than spending a lot of time trying to figure out how to predict and control the right path, which I'll naturally want to do, right, I'm going to want to predict and control that with that blindfold on. But rather than spending the time there, maybe my energy would be better spent taking the blindfold off. Right? So now imagine what happens when you can dynamically steer. When you can take that blindfold off, now you tell me to ride across the highway. Well, you know what? I feel a lot less fear. And it's not that I'm some enlightened master that can get beyond my fear in any situation. The fear is just not that useful anymore. If I can trust my ability to look around, take in data, see, and steer along the way, then I don't need to be scared. So this is Holacracy's approach to dealing with fear. Instead of trying to help individuals move beyond it, which has some benefits as well, but that's not Holacracy's approach. It's for the organization, and it creates a context in which the fear is simply no longer as useful.